Oh, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you will be very well. Today I'm on my team, and that is made up of Yael Sanchez, Joshua Sendis, and their server, Isa Rivera. We will introduce some of the best historical figures under the revolutionary era with technology, Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla was born at midnight July 9-10 in 1856 in Smiljan. That night a strong storm was raging that kept the matron scared, who said he will be the son of a storm, to which the mother, with a prophetic voice, replied, "No, he will be the son of light." He was baptized the same day of his birth, which indicates that he was born very weak and his parents thought that he might not survive. Tesla grew up in the country, enjoyed the company of his brother, and farm animals such as pigeons, the chickens, geese, and sheep that the family had. But what he liked the most was playing with Macaque, the black cat of the family. With this pet he had his first contact with static electricity on a dry winter day. He noticed how, when he brought his hand closer to the cat, sparks were released, lighting up the room. He asked his father what was happening, and his father, being an educated man, he replied that it was nothing more than electricity, the same thing that he observed in the lightning of storms. It seems that this experience inspired him to spend his life studying things related to this phenomenon. In 1863, when Tesla was just 7 years old, a misfortune occurred. The Arabian horse, which his father had received as a gift, crushed and killed his older brother. Tesla witnessed the event and left it marked. Priest Milutin never recovered from the death of his firstborn, and apparently the favorite, and began to age prematurely in addition to diminishing his activities in the church. Years later, after completing a school year as a teenager, Tesla longed to return home to spend the holidays with his family. But he received a letter from his father in which he told him to go hunting and not visit them. Knowing that his father did not like him to practice this activity, he was intrigued by the letter and went to his family's home. The reason was that a cholera epidemic had broken out and his father wanted to keep him away. He was right. Tesla contracted the disease and within days was on the brink of death. On an afternoon when he was seriously ill and his father encouraged him, he said, "Maybe I'll improve if you let me study engineering." Although Reverend Milutin wanted his son to follow in his footsteps in the church, he replied, "You will go to the best technical institution in the world." This promise gave him the strength to recover, and he was miraculously healed. Nikola Tesla studied at the universities of Graz and Prague, having worked in various electrical industries in Paris and in Budapest. He moved to the United States in 1884, where he worked under Thomas Alva Edison, then a supporter of direct electric current. Incessant disputes with Edison forced his departure from the company and his association with George Westinghouse, who bought the patents for his motor and a transformer that facilitate the distribution of this type of current to end users. They both won the battle of power distribution, since the transport of alternating current is cheaper and simpler than that of direct current. In 1893, his system was adopted by the hydroelectric power station located in Niagara Falls. Tesla founded an electrotechnical research laboratory in New York, where he discovered the principle of the rotating magnetic field and polyphase alternating current systems. Finally, in 1943, he died in an hotel of New York in the United States. Below his inventions that revolutionized the world.
Now, I will talk about a subject not so interesting and strange, but I went in engineering and the new technology. This is one in particular is very important, since it's a revolution in the idea of making an alternative current component. Nikola Tesla, who discovered the principle of the magnetic field in 1882, which is the basis of the alternating current machinery. He invented the system of fully efficient alternating current motors and the generators that powers that planet. Without his invention, the electrification that drives the growth of the industry and the development of communities would not be possible today. The discovery of the rotating magnetic field produced by the interaction of the two and three phase current in a motor was one of the greatest achievements and was the basis of the creation of his induction motor and the polyphase system for the generation and distribution of electricity. Thanks to this large amount of electricity and energy can be efficiently generated and distributed over a long distance from generation plants of the population that they feed. Even these days, the three-phase form of Tesla polyphase system continues to be used for the transmission of electricity and the conversion of the electricity into mechanical energy is possible to the improved version of the Tesla three-phase motors. The synchronous motor or induction motor is alternating current electrical motor, in which the rotor rotates at a different speed than the magnetic field on the stator. The first prototype is an of an electrical motor capable of running on alternating current was developed and built by the engineer Nikola Tesla and president of the American Institute of Electrical Engineers in 1888. Also has probably talked about the three-phase system, but invention have allowed to the wind three function since their function refer of the alternating current. More to the difference, the rotor is not connected to the motor that drives the circuit, but is electrically solid. It was bars along the entry length, embedded in the ground on a uniform distance around the periphery. The bar connected with a ring to each end of the motor. They whittle to the end of the bars. This assembly resembles to a small retaining cage or to exercise pets such as hamster. As we had spoken of the three-phase system, and as we can be the shape of the motor as a squirrel cage. Now I will show a small video and summarize the function and the induction motor and the synchronous motor. We're working as so I can, but I will explain what I there to become fade between and the two calls to rotate. But what I do some rotate that this force field joined by their two vectors tend to push from one to the other causing a push.
Tesla coil. This was patented in 1891. It goes like this when the capacitor changes by 8 voltage. This creates a spark that together with two other contacts. We generate a switch, a lot of things going to form a H voltage electric field that is going to be emitted from the coil. When the two coils come together, an electric field is generated. This works thanks to interaction of the fields. Electric energy is going to be formed, or that we can know is electricity. The Tesla coil is a kind of device that is used to generate magnetic waves. Since it is of paths current around here, a powerful magnetic field will be established around here. It has the following utilities: energy transmission, feeding a place of difficult access, elementary education. Tesla oscillator. It was created in 1893. It's alternative electricity generator. Steam will be forced through oscillator and exit through a series of the door, pushing a piston up and down that was attached to armature, causing it vibrate up and down at high speed, producing electricity. A version of oscillator caused an earthquake in New York in 1898, earned the title in popular culture as Tesla earthquake machine. The Tesla valve was invented in 1920. It's a valve with no moving parts that lets your flow through in one direction only. To achieve this is an ingenious geometry in which the air stops itself, creating circular currents. It's works in this way. There are currents that flow along different routes and different directions and cancel each other out. On the other hand, in the opposite direction the flow is direct. Because these opposite currents don't exist and the valve doesn't present any resistance to the flow in that direction.
The need of conductors was finally which Tesla has been working successfully for more than 20 years. A long time ago, it was scientists conspired against him that he came from another world since his invasion were very good and hated and unimaginable things, but of which his hand really took and debated his head. That is why in the World War his way taken very much in mind, for that is ideas of different controls. The truth is that project was never carried out, since most of the diagrams and plans only excited and tells the hits. So then when he died of the heart attack in 1943, very little important that was not of the project.